the moderate beginner who wants a bit of room in box number 1 in Kalimo, that gives me more confidence Poor Vince can go straight to the top here. And like we touched on, the 600-metre win here in 34.1 is well and truly good enough to show he's got plenty of ability. He just might get the right race map here if Vesnellen can hang the outside dogs up the track.
So tell us what your reasoning is for taking on the pink Here Comes Jojo, because the market has a similar opinion to yours because she's been out the gate, open $1.80, now out to $2.70.
Yeah, well, it's most probably the box draw from box A. She's not a really good beginner. She's a clean beginner, but if you go through her recent runs, she runs, 5.15, 5.10, 5.12. That's not going to get past Vesnellen early. And we've seen the running line that Vesnellen takes, early and then through the corners. So a greyhound that's got plenty of upside. She's a fast animal. She ran, 29.24 off the red here 3 runs ago, but I just don't think she's going to get all the favours. Only, off the wide draw with a wide runner in 4 and just a moderate beginner. So there's a couple of negatives against her. I think she went up way too short in the market, and I can see why they've kind of gone against her and then gravitated towards a couple of other runners in this event.
Yep, so a look at that market again. Poor Vince is now the favourite, well, equal favourite at least, taken over from Here Comes Jojo. Vesnellen $5. Your runner Xavier $5.50. Do you give any chance to him?
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of your runner Xavier. I think he's a dog that's got plenty of ability. We haven't seen him since the 19th of April. He got up over the 600 and he ran some really good races both here and at the Meadows. He's fresh tonight. He's another one that'll most probably just need to miss the kick, and that's typically what he does. If he can get to the fencing and get a good clean run, he's well and truly fast enough to win this race. So he's certainly a watch. I'm not sure if there's much market support for him, but if he drew inside, I'd be certainly gravitating towards him. I'm just a little bit worried off box 7 where he lobs to, but he's certainly a class animal, and he can win this race without surprise.
Well, it is $3.40 out the $5.50 is your runner Xavier. Let's get to Corey Smith. He's got Des Douch, and Here Comes Jojo.
So Des Douch, Des, that performance 3 starts ago, the 29.24 was electric. Could you replicate that from a wider draw?
Yeah, she gets a start right tonight, mate. She goes good.
That's a line that you're having plenty of success with, and this girl looks like she's got a big future ahead of her as well.
Yeah, she's improving, which is what you want to see. So she keeps getting better. So hopefully she has a bit of luck from out there tonight.
The narrative and the stats back it up is that the 8's hard to get across at Sandown, but you think the small field is going to be to her advantage?
Yeah, that's going to help her, you'd think. So if she gets a start right, she can cross them because she's improved her box manners lately. So, yeah, so here we go, buddy.
All right, well, good luck. There's Des Douch with Here Comes Jojo, who is a big chance here. The key to her race is, of course, that first split.
All right, there's the latest from Des Douch, and he's going to be hard to cross. And do you think, Nathan, I mean, a lot of people speak about the whole box 8 thing here at Sandown. Are you in that camp that is really difficult to win from the pink? Is it specific to here, or is it box 8 generally in good races?
Yeah, box 8 around the 2 turns is harder. You've got a shorter run to the first corner, and especially if you've got runners, drawn inside of that have got a little bit of pace that want to use a bit of the track, it makes it awfully hard to get around. There's only a 5-second run to the winning post here, so you need to nail the start. You can't be, giving the dogs underneath you a length early and expect to pick them up and get past them before the corner comes. So that's the problem that Here Comes Jojo has to overcome here tonight. She's certainly well and truly racing in career best form. She's been getting the start right, as Des Douch did touch on in that pre-race interview. She's got box 8 and she's got Vesnellen, who's a pretty consistent beginner in 4 who runs that middle of the track line. So a little bit of a sticky map for her personally, and that's why I've gravitated towards number 2, Poor Vince, and the market certainly gravitated towards him as well, Jay. So 2, 7, 4 and 8 are my numbers. Poor Vince, as we touched on, with the favours of the map, I think it might be able to get across to the rails first and then be hard to beat from there. 7, your runner Xavier, he's the question mark runner of the race. He's won over 500 and 600 metres at both metropolitan tracks. He's got plenty of upside. He's fresh up for 6 weeks, and he's just going to rely on a little bit of luck, but Team Daly straight to the city first up with a genuine metropolitan runner. He must be well and truly in the market and paid respect to. 4, Vesnellen in for 3rd. I think she's a likely leader here. She's going to run a pretty straight line with good early speed from that middle pin draw. I'll put in number 8, Here Comes Jojo, in for 4th. She can win, but she's going to need to do everything right. She might be the quickest dog with the 29.24 win at the track and distance 3 ago. That was off a favourable inside draw. She's got to do it off the wide draw here. 2, 7, 4, 8, race 5 at Sandown.
All right, first on the quaddie coming up. They're just crossing the line at Gold Coast and Sky 1, so we'll just hold a breath until they do across to us, and hopefully on board now our Sky One audience ahead of race 5 here at Sandown Park. And if you haven't been tuning in throughout tonight's first handful of races, Nathan Rooney's tipped the winner of them all. Who wins race 5?
2, 7, 4 and 8. I thought poor Vince might be able to utilise the inside draw here. 7, Urana Xavier first up is certainly a genuine metropolitan dog. 4, Vesnellen holds the key to the race, got early speed, hangs up the track. The favourite box 8, Here Comes Jojo. Fast winner at the track and distance a couple of weeks ago, got to offset box 8. 2, 7, 4, 8 for me.
First leg of the quaddie, Sandown Cup night. Here's Dan.
And it is the first leg of the quaddie. Paul Vince, the 2 will go the favourite ahead of the pink. And they're about ready to run. $5 for Vesnellen, who's had a bit of backing on fixed odds, and $5.50 Urana Xavier. Good luck with your quaddies tonight here at Sandown Park. This is leg number 1, and the favourite wears the stripes. They're set. And away, Paul Vince jumped pretty well. So did Vesnellen, has got really good speed. Kalimo went a miss after the starts, dropped back to the rear. Vesnellen stays wide. Paul Vince is driving underneath it. And Here Comes Jojo, gets across now into third, 2 lengths off the lead. Urana Xavier was next, and Invictus Harry's at the rear of the field. Paul Vince a length in front in Vesnellen. Right there was Here Comes Jojo, needs a run. Then Urana Xavier. Paul Vince still in front. After it, Vesnellen, and Here Comes Jojo. But Paul Vince won it. Here Comes Jojo second, Vesnellen third, and fourth in Urana Xavier. Invictus Harry was 5th, and last of all Kalimo, who has completed the course, chased them all the way into the pen, and the time is good, 29 and 35.
29 and 35 for poor Vince, taking out race 5 on Sandown Cup night. And Nathan was challenged, but as he said off air, he was going to keep punching, and that's what we saw.
Yeah, we've seen him produce 34 and 15 over the 595 here at the Sandown Park circuit. 4 runs ago, the key was getting across to the fence, holding his position in the early running. He was able to do that, and then from there he got a beautiful shepherd from the wider brigade with Vesnellen, who used plenty of the track as well identified pre-race, and the further the race went, the further he was happy to draw away, and a really good win for Corey Grenfell and Samantha Grenfell with Paul Vince in race number 5.
Yep, indeed, and Kalimo obviously struggled there straight out of the boxes. Hopefully all is well with him, but poor Vince landed exactly where Nate thought he would, and as I said pre-race, he's tipped 4 of 4. Well, that is now 5 from 5. Corey Smith is with Mason Kaufman.
He co-hosts these things with me, Mason Kaufman. Mason, Paul Vince, that was a good win.
Yeah, super. As soon as he found the front, pretty confident. He had a couple of 600s in a row. Last week, terrible conditions at the Meadows. Just got run down, so he's feeling a little bit flat, dropping back to the 500, but he had the strength in his legs.
Yeah, we've seen him obviously over the middle distance predominantly, drop down to the 500 for a couple of runs, back up to the 600, drops back down, and saw a little bit of a betting plunge as markets open this morning. Did you manage to get a couple on?
Too busy working dogs for that, mate.
Well, that is the perfect answer if the bosses are listening. But back up to 600 eventually, I'd imagine. But if you start jumping like that and get that sort of map, it's nice to be able to have a dog this versatile.
Yeah, it is just a matter of doing it week in, week out. He's not bomb-proof at the start, so yeah, 600 suits him really well.
Oh, beautiful. There's Mason Kaufman with Paul Vince, who was a very impressive runner. That map just worked out to perfection for him.
I did. I saw Mason at the Cattery last night at Geelong, so he's always on the tools, as he said, and he's put the polish on Paul Vince here along with the Grenfell camp to take out the 5th. Now it's 5 in a row, Nath. Now you're getting nervous to say yes.
Still not nervous, mate. We're 5 from 5. We're not even halfway there yet, so maybe we've got the easy ones out of the way. We'll see how we go. We'll just keep rolling the wave while we can. That was well supported. Well done to the people who got $6. They read the race most probably well and truly better than I did, and they were able to get the price nice and early. But certainly had some really good market support. Once again, had a really good map, and once he was able to lead and hold the fence, we knew that 595/600 metre residual fitness was going to come to the fore, especially with a couple of just the genuine front-running 500 metre dogs in behind him who I didn't think could pick him up. So done a really good job. Another one that's run some nice time on the night, Jay's 29.35. They're running good time here tonight. Conditions are pretty good, even though it is winter. There's no rain. It's not overly cold, and there's not really a breath of wind. So no doubt Tim Godfrey and the team here at Sandown have got the track in A1 condition, and and the dogs are running some serious time. So a really good win by Paul Vince in race number 5, and we'll try to keep this tipping going into race number 6.
Yeah, 100%. You are on fire, and pat yourself on the back. Hopefully you can steamroll into the rest of the night. We'll roll through here. We've got race 6 coming up, which is a mixed 6-7, which not often you see a mixed 6-7 in the leg of the quaddie, but that's what we've got in front of us here on Sandown Cup night. What we're going to do is we've already highlighted some Sandown Cup winners of the past throughout the night, the likes of Sweet It Is, Fan of Bale, and it's time to take a look at a couple of more now. And one of my favourites, firstly, Nath, is Tornado Tears. We'll get to that replay shortly, but gee, he was a great one. I think he competed in 3 Sandown Cup series, so his longevity was unreal and managed to perfection by Robbie Britton along the road too.
What did we classify Robbie as the other week? The goat of stayers, and
again,